Hey guys, it's been a while since I last streamed. I just thought I would hit the record button and talk for once. I'm usually one to keep everything to myself and deal with things by myself. And as suggested by the title of the stream, it's gonna get heavy. I thought I would have a therapy session, well, create my own therapy session. Um, Not only for myself, but for anyone that pops their head into this corner of the internet. This is more of me yelling into a void, a black hole, without knowing if anyone's in the other side or inside or listening or even responding. But hopefully, I can get some things off of my chest that I've been dealing with for a long time. Um, Now I know depression isn't caused by just one factor. I know you can go through many different things and be depressed. But yeah, I just want to throw my experience out there, and hopefully this can help you out if you come across this stream and are dealing with your depression or trying to find answers. I don't have answers. I'm not perfect. I'm far from it. Um, I've fallen and failed more times than I've succeeded and stood on my feet. I'm not the first person to be qualified to give advice. And I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little hypocritical when it comes down to it, because even though I dish out advice and I'm doing the stream to really help you more than try to solve it for myself, I I should follow my own advice, but I don't. Um but yeah, as I said, this year has been very difficult, and I don't think I've been through a lot of stuff in my life, but I've never ever felt this low before. And I kind of don't know what to do, or even if there's anything I can do, but this is just me trying. And so, what does it matter to me if I try and fail again? Um, but anyways, let's get into it. So in February of this year, I dealt with a breakup of a relationship that lasted 5 years. Honestly, I thought it would be um, the love of my life, the person I would spend my days with, a person I would marry, have a future with. And for those 5 years, I've tried to build a foundation and work towards making a dream a reality. And throughout the 5 years, I'm not gonna say it was perfect. As I said before, I'm not perfect. I'm far from it. But you know, um, it was tough. It was tough, and I mean, 5 years is kind of a feat in itself. But yeah, something happened um, in February earlier this year that really um, was the end, and I didn't know how to accept it or deal with it. And I'm not saying that that is the main factor for me being this slow, but it definitely did affect me, and it still is today. Um, because it's hard to kind of accept that when you make plans with someone and you try everything that you possibly can, and it's not enough. And like when I say build a future, I even have the person's name on my arm. like I've 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 tried the ways that I think were enough, but sometimes your dreams or your reality isn't the actual reality. Um, but yeah, I dealt with that breakup in February, and then shortly after, it was difficult because like my family, you have a support system around you, which is supposed to be friends or family or even a loved, like someone that cares for you and everything. And my family, I feel like I try to protect, and I've always been isolated and tend to deal things with myself and bottle things up. But there's only so much you can bottle before you actually explode, and we know that explosions never have good results. Either you hurt yourself in the process, or you hurt the people around you, or people that care or want to be there. And and so I've done that many times, and instead of hurting those people with my explosions, I'm trying to shield those people from it. But also, I feel like at the same time, and it's not anyone's fault, but I feel like mental health is much more socially open than it was before, or in some in families. And it's pretty ironic too, because my partner of 5 years graduated from psychiatry, and also my older sister has. And I think I'll get into more details as I go. I This is kind of off the top of my head as it comes to me. I didn't really have a script or have a plan, but and I do apologize for that. But um, yeah. So I dealt with the breakup in February, and in March I had a an accident. Okay, I had an accident. I on my electric bicycle. I was going like 30 miles per hour. I fell wrong, broke two ribs, broke my arm. Had to spend probably a week in the hospital. At that time, dealing with the breakup by myself, being alone, not being able to talk to anyone. My grandfather was basically on his deathbed, and you never come to terms with the loss of a loved one, but it was expected. So I lasted that week in the hospital in pain, physically and emotionally, um, and also not being able to talk to anyone or to the person that you want to. Um, and that same day that they discharged me from the hospital, I ended up going back that same night, and I spent a couple more days in the hospital. And because of a an error that was made, I had to stay an extra night. And in the morning of the following day, my little sister, calls me that my grandfather passed away. And I don't know. I feel like it's something that hurts, because I feel like maybe I could have seen him one last time, or maybe I could have, you know, expressed to him that I loved him, but I couldn't. I feel like maybe that was taken from me. So it was a lot. I mean, a breakup of 5 years with the person you thought you were going to spend the rest of your life with, an accident, and my grandfather's death, all in the span of weeks. And then after I got discharged and heard the news, I didn't even have time to process that, because the following day or the next 2 days later, we had to bury him. And I was in so much pain physically from the accident that coughing, laughing, crying, any movement hurts. So it was tough. Again, I feel like the support system, I try to shield them from me, but at the same time, it's like when you try to reach out sometimes, people just don't understand, and they're like, why are you depressed? There has to be a reason for your depression. uh it's temporary, and hearing those things kind of make you want to not talk or reach out. And I did reach out after, because you know I dealt with it wrong. I did things that I regret, and to myself. And I knew I had to reach out. As a final straw, I had to get help. And so I did. I tried to find a psychiatrist, and that didn't work out, because I would go to sessions, and I would do what they suggest, and I would try to talk about things, trying to process things, and work through it, see it in a different light. And it's kind of like you can't process it, because you need extra help. You need medication in order to be able to process things correctly. And it's frustrating too, and it's kind of exhausting when you're living life how you can, and you try your best, even though at times you have good intentions and it doesn't turn out like you want to for your efforts. Even though people tell you that you're doing things correctly, whether it's in work or trying to manage your depression, or even working on yourself, or relationships, and you don't see results, it it's hard to to accept it. And so that's what's been happening with me. And even today, like I reached out to my ex, you know and after these past few months being alone, I dealt with things not how you're supposed to, and she dealt with it by focusing on other things and keeping her mind busy. But everyone has their own way of grieving, or kind of dealing with things. And so even though I felt alone, I can't really say that it wasn't the same for her. And I mean, I don't want to speak bad about anyone, because you know I still care about them, and I still love them. And yeah, these 2 months has been the hardest months of my life, and I've been through a lot in life. I'm only 28, but as far as illnesses goes, and things that happened to me at an early age, you know, I still consider this to be the lowest point. Um, but yeah, I reached out to them like a week ago, and we kind of sat down and we talked about it. We kind of, you know, came to terms that maybe feelings are still there, maybe something's salvageable. Thank you, May. Uh, Different people process things differently. Yes, definitely. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I talked to them a week ago. We sat down. I told I told them that I want to better myself. I want to work on things, and as I said, we kind of came to terms that things could be salvageable. And even tonight, before I hit stream, sometimes I feel like I'm having an internal battle, because when I feel 1,000%, but then when I think, I overthink and I overanalyze, and so sometimes even though I'm trying to show what I feel in my heart, my brain kind of misconstrues it, and it gets lost in interpretations. Um, and I don't know. We kind of, I don't want to say we argued and fought tonight or anything, but again, I feel like I mess up. I fail. As I said, I fail more times than I've succeeded, or I fall, and it's kind of exhausting, because you know I don't know what to do, and I try, but trying isn't enough sometimes, and it's I'm just exhausted, honestly. I'm tired of trying. Like, I know in life you got to find a motivation. You got to every day find reasons to keep pushing. And for myself, it's been hard to find a motivation besides living. I feel like I live for others, and that can be exhausting as well. But also living the way I am now is exhausting, because I overthink and I overfeel, and I witness that others are able to relax or not think about things, or sleep, and I don't sleep. I don't think. There's never like a moment where I can just there's never a moment where I feel like I can just, relax. And it's kind of like an internal torture. I know how you feel wanting to change, and people not seeing how hard trying is. It hurts. Yeah, it does. I'm sorry for getting choked up and everything, but I don't know. I don't know how else to. This is probably, I would say, the first time I've cried and actually been able to to feel what I actually do, and in a long time. But I just don't know what to do, and I know, as I said, people go through different things, and maybe someone that comes across this is going through their own battles, and everything. And I just want you to know that even though myself, I don't see a light, I don't see things getting better, you have to at least have an ounce of hope that things can get better, and just keep trying until it does, because this isn't a way of life. This isn't a way to live. This isn't living. It's no problem. Sometimes you gotta let it all out, and the more you try and hold it in, the more it hurts. Yeah, as I said, there's only so much you can bottle before you have to explode. And I'm tired of exploding, because I'm tired of hurting, myself. I'm tired of hurting others around me. I'm tired of hurting people that care, that want to be there. And it's kind of like I'd rather push them away and shield them before they get hurt. And I don't know. I want them to be there. I want them to know that I actually care for them as well, and that I want to feel better and be better for not only me but for them. And my actions sometimes don't show it, or the way I express myself isn't what I actually feel. And I don't know. I don't know. I just wanted to kind of let it out, as you said, May. But I, I'm hopeful that there is it gets better, even though one day for me feels like 1 year, and so it's it's kind of like constantly you wake up hoping that tomorrow is a better day, and then tomorrow comes and it's the same thing as the day before, and it's like, until when is it actually going to get better? And sometimes you don't know the answer, but you just keep hoping. And honestly, there's not much for me to hope for, but I know that there has to be. It's kind of like when they say there has to be like life outside of, this earth. Like there has to be more people, there has to be aliens, there has to be this and that. You don't know, but there has to be more than life. There has to be life after death. Like, if that's a way of coping with your world, this right now, unfortunately, I don't want it to be a label for me. Like, oh yeah, I'm depressed, I have depression, I'm always 24/7. But that has to be my hope, that things get better. um the more you push away, the more they will worry. It's not easy, but people even care if you don't believe it. Yeah, but at the same time, I have the tendency of saying, if I push them away, they will worry, but if I express myself to them, they will worry even more. And I don't want them to worry or hurt even more. Um, I was I was spending time with my mom, and I love her. Like, I owe her the world. Um, and it's kind of like, another thing is too, that it's exhausting living like that, depressed, and it affecting you, letting it consume you, because you don't you don't care for yourself, you don't eat, you don't, and people notice, even though you try to deny it. And you know I don't want to feel this way, I don't want to live this way, I don't want to think this way. I don't, and I know that those people deserve better. But I just don't know what to do, because this is it's difficult. um but yeah, I don't know. I thought I would just come on here and express myself, and what I'm currently going through, and hopefully, I mean, it did help me a little bit, but hopefully it helps you. Maybe you're going through something similar. Maybe you're going through your own things, but just know that there's people out there. There's people out there in the world that are going through the same or similar, and you're not alone. You're not alone. And keep trying and keep pushing and do the best that you can, even though it's exhausting and it's easier to say I give up. Just do it. Do it for you, for the people you care about, for I don't know. But we have to keep trying. We have to. And I I'm trying for me, for that person, for my family, for my grandfather. Um I don't have the answers, but I'm trying to find them, and hopefully we can find them together. Maybe we can learn the answers together and help each other out. And it, I want you guys to feel like you can lean on me, and hopefully this can be something that would be beneficial to both of us, to all of us, because carrying that weight yourself, you can't sometimes. As much as you think that you're strong enough, it's sometimes it's too much. And yeah, I don't know how else, what else to say, or how to say it. Even though I have like 1,000 things in my mind, I there's sometimes you can't organize your thoughts or say what you want to say. Sometimes you just gotta to let it out as best as you can. Um, I know how you feel. I don't want my mom to worry about me, and it breaks my heart when it makes me cry, because I feel the same way, and I know how you feel. And it sucks that sometimes life throws you obstacles and everything, and uh, it's just know that things will get better, and you have you have support, and they'll love you regardless. um I promise that I'll try, and I keep pushing, even though probably most days than others I'll wake up, I feel like I don't want to, you know um but every day I want to progress. I want to keep trying, because I know that one day it will get better. I don't know what day, I don't know how, but you know, we'll get through it together. And don't give up. Stay strong. I think I'm gonna end stream now. This was kind of like a mini therapy session. Um, but it was nice to talk to you and to have someone listen. Um, and yeah, I wish you the best, and I hope that this helped you as much as it helped me, and yeah, I promise next time, I'll be better and plan better and everything. But I felt like this was kind of necessary. Um, but yeah, have a good night, and I hope that this isn't the last time we get together, and kind of my intentions for streaming is to kind of create a safe space, not only for me but for everyone, and um to kind of create a safe space where you can come and disconnect from real life, or what you're possibly going through in life, and just have fun together, and you know because I know I need that, and I know that sometimes other people do as well. So I think this could be beneficial for you as much as for me, and yeah, hopefully this is something I can look forward to, because one thing with depression, before I actually sign off, keep on going, man. If you need to talk, just send a message. Yeah, depression is, the way I see it, is kind of like it grabs a hold of you, and if it consumes you, there's many aspects in your life that it can alter. And one of the things I've tried, like content creation, and I've been a gamer all my life and everything, and it was always something since I was 18. I'm 28 now. It's been 10 years. But like everything you find pleasure in doing, or you're passionate about, depression can easily take that away from you. And this is something I do not want depression to rob me of. So I'm definitely gonna try to keep going, and just try is all that we can do. And yeah, hopefully I can get that passion back, that feeling. I feel like in this time I've lost myself and who I was, and I'm trying to find that person. And I know that they're there. I just need to find them, and I will. And so will you. But yeah, I hope you have a good night, and I'll stream later or tomorrow. And hopefully this could be a start to something new and something helpful for you as much as for me and for anybody. And thank you. I really appreciate you tuning in, and, as I said, popping up in this corner of the internet. And yeah, just know that you really helped me out. Um and hopefully you got something out of this. So yeah, good night, and stay strong, as I said.